Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. Today, Tim and I are talking about self-sabotage. And it's something that I think I say this all the time when I start the podcast, the topic. And then I say it's something that, because all of these topics are something that most of us do as humans.
Not most, probably all.
Yeah.
Safe.
Yeah. And self-sabotage. And I also, when I think about these topics, I'm thinking about my clients and, the years of having conversations, and I just write down what stands out for me, or somebody will say something now and I'm like, oh, that's a theme. I have counseled this and coached people up on this for so many years now. So I always, like I've said to you all before here on the podcast, if I think that if it resonates for me and I'm hearing it over and over in my practice, it's got to resonate for all of you. So I want to bring you all topics that are general and specific at the same time, if that makes sense. General because I'm not your personal coach, I'm not your personal therapist, but specific enough that it will resonate for hopefully most of you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad you said it's your clients. Not, I thought it was me.
Okay. What do you mean?
Like,
not following this
I thought
joke.
I was the topic of all the themes of the.
Oh, really? That would be awful. If
it would
that.
be awful. I had a complex going, but I never said it out loud.
And you and I were playing head games with each other, but you all would know listening or watching on YouTube that I'm like being so passive aggressive towards my husband and calling out all his like flaws and failings.
What else we
online?
What else is on the list?
Yeah. And you're like, that would be like sadistic of me to do that. Then we'd get off recording and you'd be like, I can't believe you keep talking about all the things that you and I talk about privately. That'd be terrible.
That would be terrible. Anyways, we're good.
Actually, I actually don't know this really about you, Tim. I don't know if you're a self-sabotager. Okay. So what is self-sabotage? I mean, you would think that if you're a smart person, and I'm going to use the word smart very loosely because I know that most of you who are watching and listening are really smart people, but you would think that as a smart person, you would protect yourself from self-sabotage. Like, why do I keep getting myself into this? And this is the question that we ask ourselves. Like, I'm a smart person. Like, why am I doing this again? Right. And sometimes we don't have the language for it or the word self-sabotage in our mind until somebody brings it up or we hear it on a podcast or we read it in a book or we're in a conversation. You're like, oh, that's what that word is? Because that's exactly what I do. You would think that knowing that you're intelligent or halfway intelligent, that you just make better choices in life, right? That you'd have better relationships, that you'd have better habits in your life, right? You'd have more success. But here's the truth. Some of the smartest people that I have ever worked with, they overthink, they procrastinate, they stay in toxic relationships, even though they know it's toxic and they air quote know better. Like, I need to be getting out of this. And they don't. They talk themselves out of opportunities. And this is kind of hard to see. Because sometimes I'm there live with them present and I see an opportunity come up for them. And I'm like, wait. What's coming up right now? I'm watching you try to talk yourself out of this opportunity.
Yeah.
May delay.
We all do versions of this, levels of this.
Yeah.
All the time. Right? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like that.
Yeah. So maybe you are going to think about your own self-sabotage. Yeah. I know. I mean, who doesn't do it? I have done it. I try not to do it now. Sometimes it's a blind spot and we can't see our blind spots. And sometimes it's like in hindsight, it's like I saw that blind spot unless I'm actively being coached by another person, because a coach, this is what I pay my coaches for. They tell me like, look at that. Do you see what you're doing right now? But oftentimes, like I say all the time on here, we are subjective. We are in the first person, I, me. We can't see. That's why I love having someone in my life, a consultant coach is like, Anna, look at that. Do you see what you're doing there? Like, oh, yeah, that's self-sabotage. Like, oh yeah, I guess I am. Well, that's because I'm this way and I feel that way and I think that way. Okay. And you're still self-sabotaging. Let's get you out of that.
Yeah.
Right.
And it also, like you said, you can't see it. Like, I think sometimes it's like you don't want to see it. Mm-hmm. Right. Like you know, it's,
exactly.
You have a hint of it, but like, you're like, I'm just
that still small voice inside of you is telling you. It's like tapping on the shoulder, going, what are you doing right now?
Yeah.
You're like, la, 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 la. No, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to feel it. So I'm
Yeah.
just going to ignore it and stay distracted.
Yeah.
But deep down inside, I am self-sabotaging. Right.
I know it.
Right.
There.
Right. And what else do? We keep repeating these patterns that really quietly destroy our peace. Just etches. It's like death by a thousand cuts. It's destroying our peace. And why do we do that? That's the question. Why? Because us being smart people does not equal emotional freedom, right? Us being smart people, all of you smart people, it does not equal that you have emotional freedom in your life, right? In fact, many, many, many highly intelligent people that I know are exceptionally good at one thing. And here it is. They use their intelligence to rationalize fear. They use their intelligence to rationalize fear. Okay. So today we're going to talk about why smart people are still sabotaging. We're going to get into it, what's actually happening psychologically, and how to finally stop being just intellectually aware, but behaviorally stuck. You can have all, like I say this all the time on here, you can have all the awareness in the world, but you're still stuck because you're not changing your behavior. I have worked with clients, I've coached clients where it's taken them minimum of a year to make behavioral changes because there's so much fear. We've spent a year with them uncovering, discovering, exploring self-sabotage. And I can't make a move. I can't make a move. I'm right there with them. I can try. You're the client. This is your life. I'm there with you. I can encourage you. I can kind of try to prompt you and prod you. And they get there when they get there. They have all the awareness. It's someone who comes to my mind in the last few years. And it wasn't until after a year and a half, she finally started to make behavioral changes because she had spent almost more than a quarter. She's in her late 30s, behaved smart as a whip, just a really smart woman and making a crap ton of money, just doing very well professionally.
Yeah.
And she self-sabotaged her personal life. And she knew it. She knew it. She knew it. We talked about it. We talked about it. We talked about it. I think probably for her it was ad nauseum. And I'm like, come on, let's go. Let's go. You got clarity. Come on, let's go. She just wouldn't do it because she was so afraid. And she finally started to do it. And she stepped into her fear and she found that courage and she did it. And she did good work. She really did good work. But what came up was she started to see some things differently in her life.
Yeah.
And that's what she was afraid of, is that she'd uncover that the relationship she was in might not be the relationship she was really meant to be in. And why did this is a big thing. Then I just wasted 4 years of my life with this person. And that's very, very hard to swallow. I thought this was my person. I thought she was going to be it for me. I thought this was it. And deep down inside, I self-sabotaged because I didn't really want to see that this person might not be the person for me. And we bought a house together and we've had kids. And what am I doing?
Yeah.
Go ahead. So you were going to say something.
No, I'm just wondering, she obviously, you said she's highly successful. I wonder if she allowed her interpretation of all that success to outweigh everything else. Like, I can put up with the everything else part of it because the rest of me is highly successful, doing all kinds of good things, and just was like, that stuff, that's bad, but it's not that bad because everything else is so good.
Because I think there was a level of denial for quite a long time, but there was also hope, but the hope without a strategy. There was hope that it would turn around on this day, on this month, this next year, it would get better. It would be better. And so there was a lack of understanding about how to regulate the nervous system and in a lack of, I'd say, emotional intelligence, because this person never learned it. Never learned it. Came from a family where that just wasn't a thing. Came from we call it a closed family system, a closed off system where there was not a lot of communication. There was really no speaking of emotions. Emotions were shut down. If you had emotions, you were actually told to be quiet, go to your room. And so that's what she learned at a very young age and really was sort of stunted in an emotional sense and just smart as a whip and really dug into that part of who she was because that's the part of her that she was proud of.
Yeah.
And ought to have been and is.
Yeah.
And realize that when I look at my whole self, WHOLE, my whole self, there's parts of me. So this is like a little bit of internal family systems work. There's parts of me that I have ignored. There's parts of me that I have not paid attention to. There's parts of myself that I need now to look at, and I need to bring her up, and I need to talk with her and honor her and let her have a voice.
Mm.
I know. Is that getting too deep?
Maybe.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, smart people, we don't self-sabotage less. We often self-sabotage more. So let's get into it. So this is where it gets kind of interesting and I think fascinating. Highly intelligent people, you all are often better at rationalizing your avoidance. Think about that in your life. You're avoiding something and you'll rationalize it to yourself. You'll justify why you're procrastinating. You will explain away your bad behavior. Yeah, you know you've got bad behavior. You know you didn't behave well in that situation. You know you don't behave well when you're around that person. And you're going to explain it away to yourself, more importantly, and to anybody else who will listen. You will intellectualize your emotions instead of feeling them. This is a big one. Intellectualize them rather than sitting in them and feeling them. And you will create really, air quote, good reasons why you stay stuck in your life. Psychology, we call this one piece self-handicapping. So what you're doing is you're self-handicapping. You're creating obstacles or excuses that are protecting your ego from potential failure because it's really, really scary because you're a smart person and maybe you've had success in certain areas of your life. Your ego likes that, but we like to stroke our ego. So it's like, I don't want to look at something in me that's vulnerable or I don't want to see this obstacle because I might fail and I don't like that. I don't like the idea of that, right? So the research on self-sabotage and self-handicapping shows that what we'll do is we'll protect our self-worth by avoiding the full effort when failure feels threatening. So I'm not going to go like whole hog into this. I'm not going to go gangbusters into this because I might not be successful and I'm a little threatened by that. So I'm just not going to do it, right? So in plain English, if I never fully try, I never fully fail. So I'm not going to fully try because I don't want that. I don't want to fully feel the feelings of failure.
Yeah.
Especially when we've done well in other areas of our life. You've been that great student. You've been a good athlete or great athlete. You're really great at this hobby. You're great in the arts. It's like, I don't know. I don't want to feel the itchiness and the scratchiness and the discomfort of failing at something, right? So instead of risking your deepest effort, you delay. Maybe you over prepare, you will perfect something, try to work on perfection, overanalyze, and you just wait. I'm just going to wait. And then you call that a strategy, right? But often it's fear wearing a really sophisticated outfit.
I think it's an illusion.
Right.
Right. It's like, it's like a fantasy almost like there is no perfect sphere that somebody lives inside of where everything is good. Here's
a sort of a lie that we tell ourselves. I see this a lot. I need more clarity. I just need more clarity. Sure, some people, people who come to me for coaching in the beginning, they are confused and are looking for clarity. Now, I'm not talking about that because there's help that is needed around that. I mean, I know that I start out with coaching when I need clarity. This is not that. You have some clarity. I need more clarity. I need more clarity. No, you don't often need more clarity. You need courage. You get the clarity, then you got to adopt that courage, right? Because so many of us, we confuse thinking with progress. Think it. Okay, enough thinking. You've got the clarity, right? We confuse that with progress, right? So you can read every book that's out there. You can listen to every podcast, right? You can understand every trauma response that's going on right now. Trauma's very much trending in social media. You can know exactly why you are the way you are. You could have psychoanalyzed yourself. You can spend time in therapy. You can know all of it and still not make changes in your life. Because insight, it's not transformation. Insight was there's aha moments like, oh yeah, okay, that's wonderful. That's a start. There's not transformation yet. You have not transformed yet. Insight's not transformation, right? It's because here's the thing. Knowledge is powerful. We got to start with that. Clarity, knowledge. But knowledge without behavioral action becomes another hiding place. Knowledge without behavioral action becomes another hiding place for so many of us, right? So this is why some brilliant people that I know, they've stayed stuck for decades, stuck in the same place, right? They are experts on themselves, but they really don't ever confront themselves.
Well, they're experts on a version of themselves, right?
And they won't confront it.
Yeah.
Because that's scary.
Yeah.
And really hard.
Yeah.
And deep work. Right?
I think I'm thinking right now of that analogy of like kick the can down the road.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're aware that the can is in front of you. It's there. And you probably should just pick it up and toss it, but you don't. You just kick it, right? Like that's the same thing that you're describing. Is like you're aware that there's things out there that you should change, but I'm good with just like pushing them down the road with me versus like picking it up and dealing with it.
Yeah, exactly. Another reason why people self-sabotage is this whole idea of perfectionism. So perfectionism, it's often not having high standards. It's fear. You know, it's got to be perfect. It's got to be perfect. Well, what's underneath that? For many people, it's a fear of judgment, this fear of vulnerability of like, I'm going to get it wrong, right? Fear that if you really try and still fail, that means something about you to the negative, right? That, you know, okay, Anna, if I try, but I fail, okay, let's sit with that. What are you making that mean about you? You're making that mean something about you. That I'm a loser, that I failed. Okay, what's wrong with failing? Fail forward. We all have to fail. There's no perfection here, right? So many smart people, they wait until they get their plan perfectly. The plan's got to be perfect, which is never. The timing is right. I'm waiting for the right timing, or that they know enough now. Well, this is me. This is okay. So this is a good example of me. They know enough. And I had one particular coach a few years ago was great. And she said to me, Anna, you don't need any more knowledge. I mean, she's from the mental health background, but like she knew enough because it was her undergraduate degree, but not her graduate. But she's like psychologically savvy. She's like, I listened to you this is my coach. And she's like, I listened to you and I learned from you just by listening to you in our conversations. She's like, and now you're telling me you want to take that course and you're going to go and learn that. She's like, stop reading like neuroscience, stop reading, psych journals, stop paying for more advanced coaching courses. She's like, I've had actually a couple, I mean, this is the biggest one, but I had one friend of mine 6 months ago say the same thing to me. You don't need any more knowledge. I think you've said it, Tim, like, you know, all of this.
Yeah.
And I would self-sabotage because I had fear of taking my business to the next level. And so I was like, well, I need to know more. I need to know more. And I was looking for perfection. And she like called me out hard. And I'm like, oh. And she's like, no, take a deep breath. Okay. You're right. She's like, you're smart. You know all this stuff.
Yeah.
Why you keep thinking you need more knowledge?
And it was also just an over-analysis for you, right? Like you just... I think part of it was you felt like you didn't know enough about certain parts of the business.
Yeah.
But then because you didn't know that, you didn't really know what you didn't know. Yeah. And so you would overanalyze the rest of it to kind of mask that. And the part that needed to be analyzed the most was the can. They kept getting kick.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, and it was like, okay, just that's the thing right there. That's the thing we need to at least address, you know?
I'm going on a podcast in a couple of weeks. And I was just like, as I'm lying awake last night at 3:00 in the morning, because my brain wakes me up, this menopausal brain. And I was thinking about, because the host and I have not really talked about, she wants to have me on. We haven't really talked about what I'm going to talk about. It's an entrepreneurial podcast. And I was like, what am I going to talk about? Actually, I think I'm going to talk about this, self-sabotage, because I see this a lot in entrepreneurs. I just see this a lot in people. And I'm guilty of it as well. Right. So it's pretty common.
Yeah.
So for me, it was, I needed to know enough. Right. And she like kind of like whipped me into shape and took me out of that. Like, what are you really doing? Well, I'm self-sabotaging because I need to feel ready and I need to know more. She's like, no, you absolutely do not stop. But perfectionism, and often in the sense of perfectionism or wanting things to be perfect, it delays the action, which is what it did with what I was doing. And it protects the ego more than it creates excellence. Right. I was sort of protecting my ego but I gotta know more. I need to be more, right? And readiness is often a myth. And I know this to be true. Just do it. Just do it. That's the best freaking slogan. Nike was genius when they came up with that slogan. Genius. Yeah. Just do it. I've said to me, and I say to my clients, just get up, go do it, move. You know, my girlfriend and I were in Florida during COVID when I rented a house. I was living down there for a bit because I had to get out of this gloomy Chicago weather. And she came to visit me, and you know, she left her. We were riding our bikes. So we were like we rode our bike 6 miles of this cute little town. I think we were in Seaside, Florida, and we were staying somewhere else. And she left her license. She had her license and her credit card in her back pocket and of her shorts. And we were like halfway home, and she's like, oh my God. She's like, my license is gone. My license fell out. I'm like, I must have stopped for a minute. And I'm like, thinking to myself, it's been a long freaking day. We've been riding bikes all day long. It's hot. I'm like, I'm going back to my place. And I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, I'm not going back there. I'm not riding my bike back into the town.
Let me know how that goes.
We have another 3 miles to go that way. And she's like, okay. And I think I started going back with her. We were riding our bikes back. We're going slow. And that's what I'm thinking is I'm not running all the way back with her. And she's going too slow. And I'm like, you left your license in the town. You could be lying on a floor of a store that we were in. Could be lying in the middle of the parking lot. And she's like, going slow. And I remember looking at her going, you have to go. And she's like, all right. She picked up. I'm like, go. And I pushed her. I pushed her butt like we would do with each other as triathletes on our bikes. I'm like, go. And she's like, okay. And she took off. I'm like, good. And I turned my bike back.
And you turned around?
I turned my bike back around and went back to the house.
Oh my God.
She's like, I'm like, well, I didn't go fast, but I'm like, no, I don't know. I was tired and
way to jump in and help solve the problem.
4 days of being together 24 hours straight. I mean, and I love her. She listens to the podcast. I love you. I mean, nothing by it, but I was a little tired and it'd been a lot of talking. So she came back and she's like, she found, thank God. She's like, somebody picked it up in the store.
Okay.
And she went into all the stores that we went into and someone had it. What are the chances? She's like, I got my license. Thank God. Because she had to get on a plane. What was she going to do? She was flying in 2 days. Yeah. What are you going to do without your license?
Yeah.
Remember that happened to me in Florida?
Yeah.
10 years ago? It was a big freaking deal to get on the plane if you don't have a license. And I didn't have a copy of it, didn't have my passport. Left my wallet in my nephew's glove compartment, and it was in Florida State University. Oh, it was such a shit show. We were over in Jacksonville, Florida, and it was just terrible. Anyways, I've been through it. So she found the license, and she came back and she said to me, she's like, thanks for pushing me like that. She's like, I needed that. She's like, it really made me pedal a lot faster. That's what she said to me. But it's but I coached.
Never questioned the fact that you didn't follow her back into town? No question.
It was 4:00 in the afternoon. It was broad daylight. She was fine.
Okay, but
I just took my time getting
that's
back.
not the question.
No, she didn't
never
care.
Questioned?
No, she didn't care. It'd been a long day. No, Tim. Stop trying to make me feel guilty that I can go back.
I'm just asking a question. You feel as you want to.
No. Yeah, stop making me feel. I always say, no one can make you feel that way.
Feel anything.
Anyways, she came back to the house and she's like, thank you for pushing me like that. I'm like, yeah, that was a coaching moment. She's like, yeah, you really coached me up. I'm like, move quicker.
So funny.
Yeah, because I just am a faster spiker than her. And the whole time I'm like, she's always behind me. I'm like, hurry up, bike faster, bike faster. Anyways.
You should have just got a tandem bike. That's what you should have done.
Oh, and I would have been in the front. She would have been in the back, and I would have been the one pedaling the entire time.
Right.
And I would have had my cute little outfit on. I would have been pitting out, sweating my butt off the whole time, and I would have been in a really bad mood.
But you'd be together.
Or I would have been like, no, now you get at the front, you pedal. And then I would have been annoyed because you'd be going too slow. I'm like, just let me get at the front and I'll pedal. Okay, so perfectionism is a big piece of this, of why we self-sabotage, because we're waiting for things to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect. All right. Next piece of this, why we self-sabotage, I sort of alluded to it a little bit before with my former client, our childhood roots, where it comes from in our childhood. It starts early. For many, many of us, it starts early, right? So many of us smart people, and many of you who are watching and listening, you're smart people and you were praised for it growing up. And that really does become a piece of our identity. Intelligence becomes, or peace, or it can be all of us. Intelligence becomes your identity. Oh, they're the smart one. They're the jock. They're the pretty one. That's the smart one, right? And when your identity is built on you being competent and smart and doing well in school, failure can really just be so scary. And the idea of it can feel just devastating. Like, no. So what happens? You might avoid situations where you're not instantly going to excel. You don't want to try on a new suit. You want to wear the suit that you always wear because you know how it fits. It's comfortable. You know it. You know it looks good on you. You don't want to go try on a new suit or another outfit. I'm going to wear this one, right? So what happens? Avoiding situations. So you might quit something way too soon. Stay where you're already impressive. I'm already impressive here. I'm going to leave this. I'm going to stay here. Avoid going back to beginner status. That's a big one. I don't want to be a beginner again. And my ego, I don't like the idea that I'm going to be back at beginner status. Like, no, I don't want that. I worked hard for this. Well, okay. But do you see that you're self-sabotaging because you don't want to be a beginner again?
Yeah, but we're not talking about your entire existence. We're talking about a slice of you that needs to be worked on, right?
Yeah, but it could reverberate, but it reverberates to our whole identity, like I said earlier.
In your mind, it does.
Right.
Yeah, but
yes,
the reality is it doesn't.
But your mind and how you think of yourself, your ego, is kind of everything for us.
Yeah.
Right? So we will protect our image over growth because that's our ego. And we're protective of that image that we've worked really hard for. And now I am known as being the smart one because of what I was told my whole life by my parents and maybe my siblings. And that's how I was known. And my teachers, like I was always known to be that way, right? I was on Model UN. I was on National Honor Society. And I was but you name it, all the things, right? So this is ego protection. This is what we'll do, right? But here's the thing, you're not protecting your future, you're protecting your identity. You think you're protecting your future, you're protecting your identity, and those sometimes are in direct conflict with each other.
Well, another way to say it is that you're kind of cementing the past, right? Like you're good with what's up because it's working,
right?
Which is your past. And it's like, I'm going to stay right there. Versus, I mean, you must have clients that like recognize the fact that there's going to be work involved in the swap, right? Are they running from that? Even though they've put a lot of work into other things in their life, maybe they feel like they don't have enough energy or effort left inside to give time and attention to this.
Well, it's an interesting question because in the discovery calls with coaching clients, I say to people who want to work with me, I'm evaluating for if they're a coachable person, because there are people who you may believe you want coaching. And I've said this before on here. And then you go to think about really being coached and you're like, oh, maybe I don't. And that's fine. That's on you. No judgment. You're just not there. No judgment at all. But if we're going to work together, a lot of us coaches feel this way. You need to be coachable.
Sure.
And we did talk about this a few sessions back. It's funny. These podcast episodes, I call them sessions because everything's a session.
Maybe what I said at the beginning is true.
episodes back, sessions. It's funny about coachability. And you talked about coachability. And I would hear you over the years talk about triathletes that you worked with who are coachable.
Sure.
People who are not coachable. And I sort of eke that out. And I'm interviewing for that in a discovery call. That are you coachable? Because you got to do the work. Because I can bring a horse to water. I can't make that horse drink, right? I can bring you to the water. I can take you and I can be with you and walk with you on this walk of yours and this journey that you're on. But we're there and I can't make you do the do. I can't make you jump in the water. I can't make you do anything. So you have to think as a potential client, am I coachable? Right? And that always stood out for me with you.
Yeah, you do.
Like I as a client, like I have to be coachable with the people I'm hiring and paying to coach me.
Sure.
But there's times when they ask me to do things that are hard for me, or I have a busy week and there's just a lot going on. But for the most part, they're going to hold me accountable.
Right.
Or as a triathlete coached, what would be the point of even paying for all of these coaches in my adult life if I didn't do what I paid them to help me do? Right.
Sure. I think there's a listener or two or many out there that will not seek out a coach right? So they will not have that nudge happening for them. They have to
Right.
self-nudge. So,
And that's hard, I think.
well, it's hard and it's real. I think that they have to understand that, like, it is going to take some work, and then they have to become good with that. But that was that was why I asked that question. Like if you're coaching yourself through whatever this is, might you think that, like, oh, I'm giving so much effort to this part of my life, which is like 80%, but this 20% is the tough part that I, not dealing with, or I at least recognize it's a thing, but I'm not really working on it. I don't know if I have enough resources left inside me.
Yeah.
Right. You're going to have to rise up.
Right.
And you're going to have to talk yourself into that
right.
at some point, I would imagine. Or else it's just going to be the same thing again.
And you can self-coach. I think it's hard. It's hard to do, and you can do it.
Yeah.
But you gotta want it badly enough.
Right.
I have self-coached. As an athlete, I've self-coached, and I've self-coached as an entrepreneur. It's really hard. And you have to think about how badly you want something. If you really, really want it, you'll do it. I mean, I basically self-coached in my marathon running days. I'd found plans on back in those days. They'd be in magazines, Runner's World, or you could, get them on the internet.
Lots of books back in the day.
We'd rent, I'd buy books, or I'd read magazines, or we had the internet. We're not that old, Tim. You'd find them on the internet, or you'd pay. Well, what I would do is you'd pay like $69 to buy Hal Higdon's marathon training program. And you could put in the remember that? Hal Higdon, I think he just passed actually like a month ago.
I didn't hear that.
God rest his soul. Rest in peace. I think he just died. And it was something, it was like $99. And I bought his program, and you'd fill out this little calculator of what you thought your times were. And I basically self-coached, and it never worked for me because I was always in between these run paces. Anyways, it didn't work for me, but I did it. I did it for a long time because at that time I couldn't afford to pay anybody. I couldn't afford it. It truly, for me at that time, was about money and economy. I just couldn't afford it. And then what I did was I started paying for, and then I got into triathlon, and then I paid for triathlete coaching. And then I was always paying for a consultation for therapy. Invaluable. And I was always paying for that. And she kept her rates down for me, which was great because she was just so amazing to me, my consultant for therapy. And then I started paying for triathlon coaching, and then I paid for life coaching / business coaching. It was a little of both, and everything changed. So I have to say that honestly. Self-coaching you can do, and you can find success. For me personally, I was limited in the amount of success I had. Once I finally had more of experts come in who knew more, were better at it. They were better at triathlon. They were run coaches, triathlon coaches, business coaches, life coaches. They knew more than me, and I was willing to be coachable. It all changed.
Yeah.
There is really something to it. The accountability piece. I know there is accountability piece. Like, I just gave them all this money. I'm paying them all this money.
Sure.
I better freaking follow through. And it did. And I had to be in enough sort of like emotional pain and psychic pain in my life to pay for it. Kind of has to hurt enough. And I made those changes.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. I agree with you. I think there's a world out there because of when we are, they think that they can go and they can source it out. I mean, there's so many different avenues online where you can like try and get information.
But that gets overwhelming.
It gets overwhelming.
It's like too much.
It does. And it's also a thing, right? It's also people going to get information, whether that's a good strategy or not.
Well, look at everybody today who's going to chat, all the large language models, and go to ChatGPT or Claude or any of them for their mental health or their coaching advice.
Right.
Well, okay, that's fine. Chat is amazing, and Claude, they are amazing. I'm on both of them. They are amazing, but they're not me. So they have learned from us humans feeding into these large language models over all the years. So they know cognitive behavioral therapy as good at it, if actually probably better than me. They know it better than me. And it's a robot. Think about that. So you can go for your mental health, but where's the follow-up with that person?
There's no nudge.
Remember what you said last week?
Yeah.
Where's the eye contact?
Right.
Where's, for coaching, where's the accountability? It doesn't do that. It doesn't care to do that. It's a robot.
Right. And so the person that chooses to go there, I think at some point they might see some results, maybe
Yeah,
some minimal
exactly.
amount of results.
Right.
So just be careful. I think that's probably the best advice.
Right.
Be careful, because if at some point that stops, becomes stagnant, then you probably need to consider a different resource
Yeah.
or a different potential solution to this, right? Like source someone else out or source another
It's
way.
human to human. It's just human to human.
Yes. I mean, we know that's true. And
I know. I know.
Yes.
I know. Okay. Before we go into the next section here, once again, if you're looking for coaching, I coach people all over the world virtually. If you're in the Chicagoland area, you can come to meet me in my office. Most of my coaching clients I have people worldwide. So email me hello@AnnaMarcolene and I'll get you on the schedule. Okay. Let's set up a discovery call. All right. And I have another cohort group coaching that is coming up. So email me if you want to get on that list. Okay. I'm starting a waiting list and I haven't really formally announced it, but I'm talking with you all about it here on the podcast. So this is the first that I'm speaking about the next cohort of group coaching. And it's going to be all about, of course, emotional mastery again, because it's just something that's been very well received. And it's something that people want me to continue to teach on and to really share with you my skills, my knowledge, and I'm giving them to you. Okay. And there'll be accountability in there. Group coaching is a fantastic way to make rapid changes in your life. You're going to do with me in 6 weeks that you're going to do with another coach, a therapist. It's going to take you 6 months to a year. You're going to do it very quickly. If you want fast changes, think about getting on the waiting list for the group coaching. Or as always, one-on-one coaching is for you. If you want specific high touch coaching in your life, reach out to me and we can set up a call for one-on-one coaching. Okay.
What's the timeline for that? Is that kicking off? Is that like a summer thing?
The group coaching,
the group one?
It's going to be more towards July and August.
Okay. Interesting. All right.
Okay. And you all will hear this episode and probably towards the middle to the end of May.
Okay.
We're recording this a little bit earlier. Okay. So self-sabotage. What's another reason why we self-sabotage? We're overthinking. We overthink, right? And this overthinking, for many of us, it's often about emotional avoidance, right? So this one matters deeply. Overthinking is often, it praised in really smart people. Like I'm an overthinker. I think a lot, right? I think, right? But clinically, overthinking is frequently anxiety, right? We call it overthinking. For many, many people, it's anxiety. It can be an attempt to mentally solve emotional discomfort instead of just tolerating uncertainty, because we would rather mentally solve something that really is, we're in our heads and we're trying to solve something that's in our hearts, something we're feeling in our body. And I always say, get out of your head and get into your heart, feel it. Well, we don't want to do that because there's uncertainty there and I can hardly tolerate that, right? So instead of saying to ourselves, I'm scared, it just becomes, I just need to think about this a little bit more. I need to think this through more, right? But overthinking, it can create this illusion of control while keeping you from the necessary action that you're really going to take in your life, right? You're not always confused. Yeah, sometimes you are confused, but you're not always confused. Sometimes you're just afraid.
Yeah.
And that's okay. It's okay. But sometimes it's just that you're afraid. You're freaked out. You're scared. Like, ooh, it's okay.
Are people conscious that they lean too deeply into overthinking in real time? Like, I don't think that most overthinkers I know would not say I'm an overthinker. If I say anxiety, that touches them. Like, that resonates because there's an anxiety. They're like, yeah. Okay. I get that. Yeah, it's anxiety. And I see that. There's a nervousness there. There's a worry there. There's a not being able to figure something out. And it's anxiety. I think I've been calling it overthinking, but maybe truth be told, it's anxiety. Okay.
Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if like some people, and maybe I do this, I don't know, you're so good with the overthinking moments, whatever that means, whether it's inside your own head.
You're an overthinker, Tim.
For certain things.
I think you are about certain things.
Yeah.
Well, I never thought about you in this way. Like you will overthink. Do you, now that we're talking about self-sabotage and thinking about you personally,
do I enjoy the overthinking?
No, are you self-sabotaging?
I would say in certain arenas, maybe. I think that embracing the overthinking, I guess, what are we talking about exactly?
Well,
Like
I don't
trying to
know.
make like
I'm trying
a,
to have you think of an example for yourself in your life.
yeah,
You
like,
got to be vulnerable right now.
okay.
You got to be vulnerable.
So making like an important decision about something like
Yeah.
that has potential.
Well, you can be indecisive. You're indecisive at times, and you will. Yeah. So I think overthinking and indecisiveness go hand in hand. And I see that in you.
Right.
You have difficulty sometimes making decisions. You can be indecisive. And I see you overthinking. I see you on the internet. I see you on your phone. You're reading. That's where I see it behaviorally. I don't know what's in your head. I can't read your
Yeah.
mind, right? But I'll see behaviors. I'm like, what are you, and sometimes I'll ask you, what are you doing? And I will say sometimes, or especially if it's a joint thing, like you got to make it. We have to make a decision. We have to make a decision.
Right.
And I'm the gas pedal and you're the brake.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I'm like, let's go, let's get it done, let's decide. And
Right.
sometimes I will. I am the gas pedal. I think in our marriage, and you're like, wait, slow down.
Yeah. Let's
I'm
make sure we're on the side of caution, because I think for me, maybe and maybe it is the fear.
Do you think
of
it's
like,
self-sabotage?
Well, I don't know that it's that. I think it's just not wanting to make the wrong decision that potentially multiplies over time. Like bad decision leads to another thing that because of that, then this happened. And then, because that happened, then this and this happened.
Okay, that's interesting. So for me, slowing down or stopping or not doing something because I'm afraid is self-sabotage. And that's what I've been coached up on. I coach others, and then I realize that I do it myself, and I've been coached up on that. To have the awareness that thinking I need all the knowledge, it is really self-sabotage because I'm afraid or nervous that I'll look stupid, I'll sound dumb, I won't know enough, somebody will criticize me. That's really, Anna is self-sabotaging Anna, because at the end of the day, who really cares, right? What other people think of,
Yeah.
So that's what it is for me.
Okay.
What is it for you?
I think in the scenario we're describing, it's the fear of what could be a long-term negative effect of making that tough choice.
And you don't take risks as much.
For certain things, no.
You're not a risk taker.
Not all the time on certain things, because I'm looking towards the future of that decision. Like, you decide to do this, and then it's like, ooh, if you make the right choice, wonderful. You're in good shape. Off we go. We've got all the things pointing north, right?
But if we don't, and I are a good balance of each other, because I'm going to take the risk and you're going to slow down.
Right.
Think of this through more. Right.
Well, I'm trying to think of a real life.
Yeah, I am too.
Big choice that you and I kind of had this thing going on with the making.
Well, I think some construction work, we've literal work around the house.
Yeah.
Construction work we've had. Right? Like we kind of are in it right now because we're redoing our kitchen. No, not really. I mean, I don't really know, or big choices.
Yeah, I don't know. That's part two. I don't know. I'm gonna think about that.
I think with work, I've seen you self-sabotage.
I think it's more. Yeah, I think in the topic of work, the topic of retirement, all the things that go with that, right? Like planning for the future. I think that you and I do kind of slow that down because I want to make sure that the right decision's made, for sure. 100%. That's a good example.
But I don't know that you're self-sabotaging though.
I'm not self-sabotaging. Yeah. It's just caution.
Okay, so let's get into what does sabotage really look like, right? It's not always dramatic. I think most times it's not dramatic. It's something that's interior in almost all of us. For many of us, it looks like choosing emotionally unavailable partners in our lives. So I'm going to just go generally, but self-sabotage across the board, but I'm going to speak in generality about where I see it showing up in people's lives. Choosing people who are really emotionally unavailable to you. You're self-sabotaging. Starting something but not finishing it. I mean, you see that quite a bit. I probably have done that. Starting a project, starting some new arm of the business, but not finishing it. Self-sabotaging because deep down inside, I don't think I'm going to be successful or good at it. So it's self-sabotage.
That's probably a good one.
Yeah. I think for a lot of us.
Because I think there's things that you knew that you should have made a decision on or pushed forward a little bit harder.
Yeah.
And maybe because you just didn't feel comfortable in your knowledge of that arm of the business.
That's the knowledge piece I was talking about earlier.
You rode the brake on it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Chronic procrastination is a huge form of self-sabotage. I think most of you can relate to this one. You think about it like with your studies when you were younger in school. or maybe you're in school now, just chronically procrastinating, you're self-sabotaging. Talking instead of doing, talking, and there's no action. There's no doing at the other end. That's self-sabotage. At some point, like I said at the beginning, the beginning is fine. You need to have those conversations and get clarity, and you can get insight. But there's a point where insight and clarity drops off, and you got to take action. You got to start doing the do, right? You got to stop talking the talk. You got to start walking the walk. Another one is waiting for confidence before acting. I'm waiting for the confidence. I'm waiting for it. Well, no. That's not how you get confident. Confidence is my platform. That's not how we get confident. You get confident by just doing it messy and doing it just do that. It just doesn't feel good. You got to do that over and over and over again. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. That's how you get confident, right? Staying busy so that you never face yourself. We talked about this quite a bit on the podcast. We talked about several episodes back. Busy, just staying busy so that you never have to face yourself and what's coming up for you in your life. You're self-sabotaging.
And I think that was my question earlier, because I think some people enjoy the busy, right? They lean into the busy because the busy makes everything else kind of fade out.
Busy's safe.
Yeah.
And busy is noise.
Okay. There you go.
And busy is noise in our minds. There's a low hum. When we are busy, there's a low hum in our minds, and the low hum drowns out the stuff that's at the bottom that needs to be looked at and paid attention to. And it's la 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 la. That's the low hum that we can't hear. The deeper work that we need to do.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, and it's an illusion because you give yourself the impression that you're just so busy. You're working so hard, and you are, but it's stuff that's like maybe not as important.
Because you're not facing yourself.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Needing certainty before change. I need to be more certain before I make changes. And this is a hard one. I would say, I'd be curious what other coaches think. I think this is a hard one to coach, because I can coach you up all day long. And I've had people who are like, no, I need more certainty. I'm not going to make those changes. I told you, and I wanted to. I told you that I would. And I know that you wrote it down on my action steps last week and the week before that, and the week before that, and the week before that. And I haven't done it because I just need more certainty. I can bring a horse to water. I can't make it drink. Those are people who are harder to coach because they're just not ready. And like I said, no judgment. They're hard people to coach. And I've told you all in the past, I mean, years ago, it's probably back 8, 9, 10 years ago, I had coaching clients who, I don't have that as much. I think I've started to suss that out a little bit more about coachability, which my coaches coached me up on in the very beginning, because I was having clients who wanted to be coached, but then they wouldn't do the follow through. And I'm like, well, this is what you came for coaching for. And and then they realized in the coaching with me, like, yeah, I don't want to make that change. Yeah, it's not great for me in my life and I don't like it. And that's why I came here, but I'm not going to work on that. I'm like, okay, we've come to an end.
Right.
All the best to you. And they're lovely, I like them as humans, as people.
Yeah. They
just didn't want to really be coached on that. I did coach that, but they didn't want to change it.
Yeah.
And I think that they're like, I need more certainty. Well, you just might not get that certainty. You got to make the changes first.
And define that. You need more certainty in the odds of success or what?
It's amazing what we can conjure up in our minds about what certainty looks like for us.
Okay.
We did a whole episode on excuses versus reasons. And I think that for me, and I would say to them, I think these are excuses. These don't sound like reasons. I think you need that certainty. You're making excuses for why you don't really want to make the change.
Yeah.
And they realize that you're right. I do keep doing this with you. And because I guess I don't want to make that change.
It's certainty in definition of the problem, of what you want to fix. What
they said they wanted when they first came for coaching.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So they're not even sure at that point that that's a thing.
Well, I think you think you want it. There is enough of a pain point inside of you that you don't. Yeah, it's like a thorn in your side. Like, ugh, it's there. It hurts. It's annoying. And when I move this way, I really feel it. And I move that way when I feel it. But if I just sit still, the thorn is there. It doesn't hurt me. I'm distracted. I can pay attention to my kids, my spouse. I can pay attention to work. But if I move in my chair this way, ow, 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 that hurts. That
Yeah.
hurts. It's sort of the same thing for making changes. Like you're asking me, Anna, to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And I don't. Okay, I can live with that. I can live with that thorn on my side. I'm just not ready right now in my life to make that change. I have had people come back to me 2, 3, 4 years later. Okay, it really hurts. Now it hurts all the time. It got deeply more embedded in my side and I got to get this thing out.
Yeah.
I have to do this. And I've had some of those people not come back.
Yeah.
So to each his own. It's different for everybody.
I think this one shocks me a lot because what you're saying is that this person has decided to make basically a 180, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not that they're uncertain about might I be successful in fixing or adjusting whatever the thing is. It's that the thing's not even a thing for me anymore right now.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You're just like turning your back on the entire problem completely.
Well, I think it's denial. I think there's a level
and you're still turning your back on it.
I think there's a level of denial and learning to live with something. How many of us live with discomfort in our lives? How many of us live with and we find something to soothe it? We find some way to soothe our minds.
Yeah.
We put a salve on it and we soothe it.
Yeah.
It's there. The thorn is still in my side, but I put like some numbing cream on it. So I won't feel it for the next 4 hours. And then the numbing cream wears off. I mean, that's just the best example I can share. It's a visual for all of you, but it's a good one, I think. And the numbing cream wears off and it's like, all right, well, like I said, like, I mean, just sit this way. It won't hurt.
Yeah.
We just learn to live with it. How many of us humans on this earth are living with this sort of rationalization or these excuses in our lives to why we don't make changes? I need more certainty.
Yeah.
And that's just one example, right? So self-sabotage it's rarely about destruction. More often it's about protection. We're protecting something inside of us. There's something that we're protecting, right? Protection from rejection. Maybe we want to protect ourselves from shame. As a coach, I don't even know it's there because oftentimes I think my clients don't know it's there. So it hasn't percolated to the surface yet. We don't talk about it. You know, sometimes that's why as a coach, I'm so good at this because of my mental health background. I have a radar for what my clients are not saying. I can see it and I can call it out. So I have a radar for, is this shame here?
Yeah.
But we're not mind readers, right? So, you know, I mean, I think many of us, we're protecting ourselves from shame, rejection, uncertainty. I want to protect myself from this uncertainty, right? I'd rather, I'm going to live with a self-sabotage. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
You know, but protection, it just becomes like this internal prison.
Let me ask you a question. So you're in this with this client. Do you give them, it's like the Wizard of Oz thing where you're like giving them a quick peek behind the curtain. Do you like give them like a quick vision of what's going to be going on at the end of the tunnel? Do you go there ever, or do you wait till you get there? If we're going to put all this work in, our goal is to get to this, which is going to turn us into this. Do you give them a look at this?
Yes.
Or do you?
Yes.
So you make that known to them all along the way.
They see what is possible for them.
Okay.
Because that's what we do in the beginning with clarity and then with our goals.
Yeah.
They see what they can have.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
so it's not a mystery.
No, not at all.
Okay.
We're in it with the two of us. If this is one-on-one you're talking about, or even my groups, we're in this together. They see what is possible for them when I don't think they saw. Many of them didn't see it before.
Right.
I have all the insight in the world. I've done all this work. Nothing's changing. My life is still the same. My house is still a mess. I still in a pissed off mood all the time. Still resentful. And tomorrow's my spouse.
Yeah.
Still have all this stuff. Like, yeah, I know I've done a lot of work. Maybe I need to do more inner child work. Yeah, maybe you do actually.
Yeah.
And sometimes you do need to go, we got to look back a little bit more. When you work with me, you see what the outcome can be for yourself. Now you got to do the work, but I'm showing it to you.
Yeah. That makes sense to me. I don't know how much.
I wish I could get my coaching clients on here. Maybe I will ask some of them.
See if they'll come on.
Because they can tell you.
Right.
They will tell you what it's like to work with me. They will tell you the transformations that they have had with me.
Yeah.
And I just had a client yesterday text me. She's like, Anna, I didn't read, because so my clients have action steps each week that we agree upon together that they will work on. I put notes in there for them, my insights, my thoughts about our last coaching session. And so sometimes their lives are busy and sometimes they'll read it that week and sometimes they don't, and because they're busy and they just didn't get to it. And a client texts me, she's like, I did not read your notes to me. I just read them tonight from a couple weeks back. She's like, oh my gosh. She's like, Anna, you just hit the nail on the head. She's like, it's such a great compliment. She's like, you so get me. You just fully express what it was that I was thinking and feeling when we talked 2 weeks ago. And I just gave her some insights,
Sure.
And that's what her action, and it went further with, this is what you're going to do about that. And she's like, thank you, thank you. And I am tooting my own horn, but I think you all need to hear it. Like, this is what happens in coaching. I want you to see what can happen for yourself. This is what happens.
Yeah.
She's like, this is unbelievable. So when she ends with me, I mean, she's been with me for a while. When she ends with me, she's going to basically have a book of all of her action steps and all the notes that I've given to her. So she can take years to go through all of that and go back to it and look at what she's worked on, look how far she's come. And then we all get stuck, right? Like I've been coached and I go back and I will self-sabotage and I can get caught up in my thought distortions and get catastrophized about, oh God, things are really bad right now. And you will be able to go back and you can find where I wrote about that for you. And you can find where I wrote about that for you. And I gave you some solutions and insights and action steps for you to take for yourself. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I have never had that. That's why I do what I do with my clients, because I've never had a coach do this with me. I am giving you what I always wanted a coach to give me, and I've never received it.
Yeah.
So I told myself, I'm going to be better. I'm going to give you what I've always wanted. I developed this avatar and this person in my mind and how I wanted them to coach me. Well, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And that's how I coach you.
Yeah.
So when you are done with me, you're going to have like a book or a journal of all of my notes to you about you.
Yeah.
I think it's a gift.
Sure.
I know. And everybody tells me you should be charging like tens of thousands more than you are. And I'm not. I'm not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
All right.
but so hold on. So you just described the difference between.
But I love doing it. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
It's
I just
okay.
interrupted you.
I'm fine. You just described the difference between a person that's trying to get through something and self-coach themselves
Yeah.
versus going to see a professional.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you're self-coaching, I think, all right, pick a problem. I'm not a very good listener, right? So I want to become better at that. Right. So I'm going to self-coach myself, and maybe I'll look online. There's a couple little things I can try and do, or
go
get
to
a
chat.
book, or get a chat, all the things, right?
Right.
And that's going to help me with, and the definition of success will be make this better, make my ability to listen. Maybe I talk less. What all the things that go with that, right? And that's it. Versus if I have a coach walking me through this, maybe the problem is the same, maybe the problem's bigger, but the coach then says, all right, if you become better at this is what we're working on. You're going to become better at this, but then this affects all of these other areas in your life, which if I'm self-coaching, I would never even think that.
I think the critical difference is when you are coached, one of the best compliments I get. So you can go into ChatGPT. I'm just going to use that large language model because it's the most popular, I think. You can go into ChatGPT and you can ask it to coach you up on being a better listener. And it's going to give you it won't stop talking. It'll just spit out.
There'll be things to do.
There'll be things it'll give you to do.
Sure.
And absolutely. You can listen to all the podcasts in the world. You can listen. You can read what chat has to say to you. But when you're standing there in your kitchen at your island Tuesday night at 9:00 with your life partner, and you're getting into it, and he or she are there like, you're not listening again. You're not listening. And it's like, you spent all that time on chat reading and you listen to the podcast about being a better listener. Why is it not working?
Yeah.
Well, you got to put in the reps. That's something.
Sure.
But I think what happens is, and this is what my clients tell me, they're like, Anna, I got you in my head. Or and in the beginning, in the moment, you're not going to do differently because you're just learning something new. You're like, okay. Yeah, I didn't listen. Didn't listen to him. I totally interrupted him. I didn't listen. They always tell me, the kids always tell me, my sister always tells me I don't listen. I'm not listening. And here we are. And I just listen to those podcasts about how to be a better listener. And I'm not doing it. Anna is reminding me. So I got to meet with her on Tuesday morning and we're going to talk about it, how the week go. And She's my accountability person. And Anna says, yeah, but you start with the awareness because you were aware. Okay, you didn't do a great job, but you were aware that you didn't listen to your spouse, your husband, your wife, your life partner. Awareness, awareness, awareness. Then what happens the fourth time this happens? You're like, okay, shut up, shut up, shut up. Anna, shut up. Anna, shut up. Let Tim talk. Let him talk.
Yeah.
Here we go. You're meeting with Anna, your next session on Tuesday morning. Guess what?
How'd that go? Checks and balances.
Accountability.
Right.
Accountability.
Yeah.
I think that us as humans, it gets dug in a little bit more into our brain. We put in the reps with another person.
Sure.
There's nothing like another person. So you can get all the knowledge and listen and get all the insights in the world, but you don't have accountability
Right.
the way you do with another coach.
Right.
And that's what I do.
Yeah.
So, okay. All right. So let's move into how do we as smart people start to break the cycle of self-sabotage? Here's the shift. This is it. You stop asking yourself, how do I think about this better? And you start saying to yourself or asking yourself, what am I avoiding to stay here? What am I avoiding to stay here? Right? So that question really changes everything. It's a big one because healing often requires behavior before belief. If you want to heal, you got to change your behavior. More than really you need to change your beliefs, right? You act before you get confidence. You move before you have certainty. You tolerate discomfort before you're going to get relief. You're not going to get relief. You must walk through the fire. You must walk through the field that's full of brambles and prickers. I'm sorry, you must. You got to tolerate that discomfort, all right? Now let's move on. We've been talking for over an hour. Let's move into your power moves. All right. Here are your power moves. All right.
Okay.
How to stop self-sabotaging. Number one, I want you to name the real fear. What are you afraid of? What feels risky about actually succeeding in your life? And I don't mean money and jobs. I mean, wherever it is in your life, you're looking for more success. What feels risky about actually succeeding? Number two, I want you to trade your perfectionism for proof. Okay. Your goal this week. Here's your goal, everybody. I want you to take one messy action, one imperfect move. There's no perfection here. One imperfect move. I want you to get one thing done before you feel ready. Okay. So we're all doing it messy, all of us, right?
Absolutely. You're doing it messy.
Okay. Your next power move, I want you to notice your excuse pattern. Okay. So this is develop that self-awareness. What do you consistently tell yourself? Spend a little bit of time with yourself on this. What do you tell yourself over and over again? That's your self-sabotage. Like, I need more time. Me personally, Anna, I would say I need more knowledge. You might say, or maybe you're like me, you say I need more knowledge. Maybe I need more time. I'm not ready. I'm just not ready. I need to figure it out first. I need to figure it all out first, right?
Yeah.
That may not be your strategy. That might be you self-protecting. That's self-protection.
Might it be that your excuse is a positive also? Like I'm already pretty good at this. Like that's possible.
And if you want more, okay, that's if you don't want any more. If you want more, I'm already pretty good at this. And that's self-sabotage.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it could come from a place of positivity also. Like you're over talking yourself a little bit.
And you need to build self-trust through action. All right. So confidence, it's not built by thinking. Confidence is built by you putting in the work and looking for the evidence. Now I've got evidence. That's where you move out of self-sabotage. All right. So in closing, being smart, it's not the same as being free. It's not the same as having emotional freedom. Your intelligence, it can build your life. It can help the building blocks of you creating this life for yourself or become the very thing that you have used and you're using to avoid your life. You do not need to outthink your self-sabotage, okay? You don't need to outthink it. That's exactly why you're in self-sabotage. You need to outgrow the fear beneath it. You got to outgrow that fear that's underneath why you're self-sabotaging, right? Because your next level, it's going to require something your intelligence alone cannot provide, which is vulnerability, risk, learning to get comfortable, being uncomfortable, that's your discomfort, and action, right? Got to take action.
Yeah.
And that might be the smartest move you ever take.
Yeah.
Okay.
We get paralyzed a lot, don't we?
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
We sure do.
Yeah.
And I don't think we talk about this very much with each other.
Right.
These are not conversations we're just having with people.
Well, yeah, because it revolves around
vulnerability,
admittance that you need to work on something, and you don't really want to say that to anybody else.
It's true.
Yeah,
it's true. These are the conversations I have all the time, but these are conversations I have with my coaching clients. Most of us are not having them in life. Yeah. Okay. All right, everybody. Hope that was helpful. As always, please don't forget to rate and review with 5 stars the podcast. Write a review. I read them. We read them. And we love it when you guys give us feedback or when y'all send me emails. I love them. And I read every single one of them. Okay. So love your input. And if there's something that we haven't talked about that you're just dying to know more about, let me know and I'll do an episode on it. Okay. All right. Until next time, I love everyone.